All right, Chris, here we go. TBL games 5 through 7 of the Wild Card series. Got a couple good series so far, a couple 2-2s and a couple 3-1s. So Lehigh Valley up 3-1 right now in Las Vegas. Roland Cook on the mound, so this might be a tough game for Las Vegas to mount a comeback on, but if they can get over Cook, maybe they can storm back in 7. Somerville and Fort Collins, the OG matchup here, tied 2-2. Meanwhile, Milwaukee got their first win against Oklahoma City after going down 3-0. And see if they can do the reverse sweep. And then we have Bighorn and San Antonio. That series is led by Bighorn 3-1 behind some strong pitching. And then finally, we have the Sasquatches and the Rivermen tied 2-2, with 2 of those games going an extra inning and one being a walk-off by the Rivermen in the 9th. So tight series there. We will get things going without much delay because we got a short window today. So
let's start things up then. Get out of real time and go to 20, right?
Yep. Good luck to our playoff teams down the stretch. Lead off hit by Bo Moses. He steals second. So quick base runner from Milwaukee in the first. And they drive in a run. Tony Aponte singles. The ex-Kingston Frontenac, I believe. Mr. Tony Aponte. Doing some damage against his old organization. Aponte was only in Kingston for 3 years, 2002 to 2004. So it's actually been a mobster longer than he was ever in Kingston. So I guess we'd have to say Aponte is a mobster.
But he spent some time in Kingston. But
he was drafted there, yeah. Bar Harbor and, oh God, here we go again. Bighorn and San Antonio underway in the first. It's all you. I got a phone call real quick. It's all you.
Las Vegas gets on the board. Sean Hall, sacrifice fly, 1-0, then followed by a Brian Garza 2-run homer. So 3-0 Las Vegas over Lehigh. Spokane and Louisville game has started.
I'm back.
Yeah, we got ourselves a 3-0 game with Las Vegas taking on, but looks like Bighorn is adding on to the leads. We're getting ourselves on the scoreboard with a Adam Schmidt single and a Nick Kennedy single, so 2-0 Bighorn. And Milwaukee gets on the board with a Jose Melendez single. And the mobster Aponte scores.
Wild pitch scores another run for the High Rollers, 4-0. 4-0. Damn, that's a Roland Cook game.
Hey, Roland Cook, is he going to go 0-2 this playoff?
Yeah, that is the only loss for the Lehigh Valley Scrapple so far. That's pretty crazy. A lot of time left. This series has been super offensive. Not offensive, but offensive. Tim Lamb singles. Fort Collins strikes first in that game in the bottom of the first.
Jim Harris
Jim
singles.
Harris. Yep. Yeah, Las Vegas with 8 hits already. I'm trying to figure out how Yoshinori Murata is a top performer by giving up 3 runs through 5, but Doug Morris, who's thrown 5 shutout innings, isn't on the leaderboard. The fuck? Out of the park? Oh,
there
we
he
go. There's
is.
Doug Morris.
There he is.
I think starters need 5 innings before they pop up there. Ehrenkrantz reaches on an error. It's going to drive in Schmidt. That's going to make it a 3-0 lead for the Rams. And Chris Ruska singles driving in Robinson. So Louisville hops on top 1-0 early in the third. Six shutout innings for Doug Morris so far. He's pitching a gem. 23-game winner this year. Brian Downing, solo home run, extends the Rivermen lead to 2. Cameron Phillips out of the game with an injury.
Oh no.
Joe Butts pitching another beautiful game for the Rams. 5 shutouts so far. Frank Escobar, 2-run homer for the money line. That's going to give them a 2-1 lead over Fort Collins. Lance Hollis hits a solo home run to put Lehigh on the board for the first time in the 5th. Ruska drives in another, and then it's followed by a Park single. So Louisville now up 4-0 here. The Sasquatches. Mike Lynch, sacrifice flies. Sasquatches on the board in the 5th. And 2 runs on top for Bighorn. Youngsang Park singles and Justin Marshall singles. 5-0 lead, and that might put San Antonio in a real hole here with 3 innings left in their season. They can't come back. Tying run at the plate for the Sasquatches, but a J.J. June ground out ends the inning. Lincoln Woody, 4-hit game for the Outlaws, even though they don't have a run. I mean, they only have 6 hits and 4 belong to Woody. Mario Rubio, 2-run homer, and all of a sudden that is a 1-run game in the 7th, 4-3. High Rollers still have the lead. Bases loaded, 2 down for the Outlaws, threatening here in the bottom of the 8th. And they get 2 on a Quinones single. I wonder if a runner was thrown out on the base paths because that retired the inning as well. But 1-run game as we go to the 9th now there. 6 outs left for the Chiles Picantes up here in the bottom of the 8th. Joe Butts is out of that game now, so. Tying run on for the Scrapples in the 7th. 2 outs remaining for the Outlaws, down 3-2. Tying runs on base. And they can't get it done. So Milwaukee stays alive now. That's a 3-2 series. Marshall adds an insurance run for the Rams. Mike Lynch doubles, driving in a run for the Sasquatches to cut that to a 4-2 game. So down 3-0. It's now a 3-2 series between Milwaukee and Oklahoma City. Zach Eckel singles, and now that's a 1-run game as the Sasquatches are mounting a small comeback here. Meanwhile, final 3 outs for the Chiles Picantes, down 6, probably the end of their season without a miracle here. And that will do it. Bighorn with a 6-0 win in Game 5 to wrap up the series. And they'll move on to the divisional championship round. Meanwhile, tying run on second with 1 out for the Scrapples. Looks like a pitching change as Nick's coming into the game for the High Rollers. 3 close games here still going. 1 run apiece. And it's tied. Bottom of the 8th. Lehigh ties it up against Las Vegas, so they come all the way back from a 4-0 deficit. Barry Richardson drives in the tying run. That's going to be 4-4 going to the 9th inning. Meanwhile, the Sasquatches have the tying run on second, first and second. Go-ahead run on first. A pitching change in that game as well. It looks like it's Hollins coming into the game for the Rivermen. Bottom of the 8th in Fort Collins. They trail by 1 at home. They have a runner on now with 1 down. And it's tied up. Wayne Williamson singles, driving in Marino. So that's 4-4. Still 1 down and 2 on. Sasquatch is threatening for more. So we had 2 different games that were 4-0 and came 4-4. So comebacks. And Spokane, big hit. Mike Lynch, 3-run homer, gives them a 7-4 lead here in the 8th inning. Four-run 7th inning. No, even more. 6-run 7th. 6 runs in the last 2 innings. Lehigh walks it off in the 9th. Yoshi Amada hits a sac fly, driving in punting, and that is a series as the Scrapples take Game 5 and win the series 4-1. Again, they were down 4-0. Las Vegas got to roll and cook, but Lehigh scrapped their way back. Meanwhile, 3 outs remaining for Fort Collins here, and 3 outs remaining for the Rivermen, down 3. One down. Bobby Faust leaves game with an injury. Last out remaining, man on first, tying run on first. That's first and second after a Westfall walk. See if they have any magic in the bottom of the ninth here. Full count. They can't get it done. Marksberry gets the win. Adamczyk gets the loss, so a reverse of the first time they matched up. And Somerville takes the 3-2 series lead on the road, and they're headed back home, needing just one more to wrap up the series. Meanwhile, Jeff Bellinger with a 2-run homer in the bottom of the ninth, and there's still nobody out. So this game's not over yet. And all of a sudden, the tying run is on first as Park singles. Let's see if they can mount this comeback here.
The meltdown is starting.
2 on, 1 out. Hager singles. Loudermilk's at the plate. Wild pitch makes them in scoring position now. No force out. Big strikeout there. Intentional walk by Dallenbach with bases loaded. Down to the wire here in the ninth. And a walk-off grand slam by Brian Downing. Can you fucking believe it? Second home run of the game for Downing.
Wow.
And the Rivermen come back from 7-4 down in the ninth inning to take game 5, 10-7. Going back to the Sasquatch's home field, but that is a devastating blow. Sorry, Chris.
That is crazy. Yeah.
A walk-off playoff grand slam is fucking nuts, actually.
Yes, it's awesome. Love it.
So just a little fun fact, from 1903 onwards, only one walk-off grand slam has been hit in the postseason, and it was by Nelson Cruz, Game 2 of the 2011 ALCS. So here in Season 12 of the TBL, we're making history that didn't happen in 100 years of baseball in the major leagues. Or only happened once, I should say. So we've got 3 series going to a Game 6. The Scrapples move on. The Scrapples move on and the Rams move on. But right now, looking at the matchups, Somerville at home with the series lead, Oklahoma City on the road. Now, they couldn't wrap it up at home, so they may be kicking themselves if they can't get one here on the road in Milwaukee. And then Louisville, also on the road, but they have the 3-2 series lead. So let's see if the home teams can mount a comeback and force Game 7s, or if Somerville can wrap this series up in Game 6. Crawford versus Konopka. We've got Hagen going against Figgett, and then Lugo against Ramirez. So, again, on a time crunch, we won't waste any time. Fuck it. It's all good. Timing's a little spread out because of the eliminated teams, but it's not too bad.
It's not horrible.
Leadoff walk for the Outlaws. I think the last thing Oklahoma City wants to see is a Game 7.
Bring reminders of Kingston all over again.
I don't know. Kingston never made a Game 5. What are you talking about?
That's true.
Quinones, big 3-run homer to start things off for the Outlaws. So they have a quick 3-0 lead before Milwaukee even comes to the plate. And I think Quinones is looking at possibly series MVP. Milwaukee gets one back quickly. Leadoff homer by Bo Moses to start the game for the Lobsters. And it's tied up. Alejandro Martinez hits a 2-run homer with Aponte on second base, and 3-3 now in the first. So as quickly as they built a lead, they've lost it. And we're tied up going into the second. Maybe not. We'll see. Late in the walk, so Milwaukee's still threatening. 2 on now on a Dan Gittleman single. And they get another one. Jeremiah Brantley singles in Layton. So 4-3. They got 4 in the bottom half, and they have a lead now going to the second. Meanwhile, Louisville and Spokane's getting underway. I'm going to look up Spokane or Spokane. It's driving me crazy. I looked it up before, but I forgot. Spokane. Okay. Not Spokane. Spokane. Definitely an East Coaster. stepping away for a quick second. Fort Collins and Somerville underway in the bottom of the first now. So after fireworks in the first of the Milwaukee, Oklahoma City game, it's been pretty quiet and very quiet in the other two matchups. Pitchers have come to play.
Yeah, pretty lame. Pretty lame, just gonna say. It's been very quiet.
I disagree. I like a good pitching matchup, Chris. Don't you remember the days of Pedro?
Yeah, I do.
2-run homer, Maciel. So the Sasquatches are on the board first, and Martinez singles in the Milwaukee game, giving them a 5-3 lead.
So there we go. I guess something happened here. Finally.
Second and third, nobody out for Somerville, threatening to open that game up for the first time. Quick strikeout by Fuentes, though, so a big strikeout by Crawford there. There's a single by Lozano, and a 3-run homer by Jalen Boyd breaks that game open now. 4-0 Somerville here in the fourth inning. Meanwhile, Milwaukee adds one on a Gyu-Nida single, driving Gilman. First and third, nobody out there, so they're threatening for more. Bo Moses now grounds into a fielder's choice. That drives in a run. Still 2 guys on. Sacrifice fly drives in another. 8-3.
Piling it on right now.
Small balling them to death. All singles and stuff out of that first inning.
Fielder's choice.
First and third, nobody out for the Rivermen, trying to get back in this one, but a double play. Maybe a out at home, out at first kind of double play, because the guy on third was eliminated. Wayne Williamson, meanwhile, leaves the game with an injury again.
No way.
Santiago singles driving in 2, so Fort Collins cuts the deficit in half. They're not going to go quietly. That team never does. Zach Eccles with a solo home run extending the Sasquatch lead to 3-0. Have we ever had a reverse sweep in the big league?
I don't know.
Can't recall. Maybe from like a 2-0 deficit. I don't know if we have in a 7-game series. I know you came close a few years ago against Huron.
Yeah, when I was driving.
Yeah, you were down like 3-0 and made it 3-3. Yeah, I'm not sure either.
I stopped at a rest stop and I saw I was down 0-3, and I was like, I'm just going to continue driving and not think about the big league.
Riverman threatening again, first and third, tying run at the plate. And a big single by Pete Robinson drives in 2, and that's a 1-run game all of a sudden, 3-2, as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Well, the Outlaws trying to get some needed runs here. They have 2 on, but 2 out here in the 8th. See them getting, oh, there's a run. So David Bell singles driving the Esquivel. I'm terrible at pronouncing that name for some reason.
Squeevel?
Esquivel. Squeeze me. 8-4 though, as we go to the bottom of the 8th, as Mobsters get out of the jam. Three outs remaining in Game 6 for the Outlaws, or we're going to have a Game 7. Jalen Boyd, solo home run, makes it 5-2 Somerville. Boyd's second home run of the game. Meanwhile, 2 on and 1 out again for the Rivermen. They continue to threaten here in the late innings. Bases loaded, 1 out. Final out for Oklahoma City, and that's a final. Milwaukee, 3 straight now, have tied this series up and made it 7-game series at least. Well, yeah, definitely at least. Meanwhile, bases loaded for the Rivermen here in the top of the 8th. 2 down, though. And Brian Downing strikes out looking, so the Sasquatches get out of the jam, and they retain the 1-run lead as we go to the bottom half of the inning. Meanwhile, Fort Collins...
biased right now.
Fort Collins grounds into a double play, so they had some runners on, but the money line keep them in check. They're going to be down to their final 3 outs of their season. Two on, 1 out for the Sasquatches. And to get some insurance. Base is loaded now. But Louisville escapes without any damage done. So down 1 going to the top of the 9th are the Rivermen. Meanwhile, top of the 9th for Fort Collins. Last chance to get something going here. 1 down on both sides. A double by Dave Morgan gives the Roosters a little life. Quick out by Tim Lamb, though, down to the final out. Final out in the Louisville game, and they've got a base runner on, and that's a final in Somerville. So the Somerville money line beats the Fort Collins Roosters in Game 6 in advance, and the Sasquatches beat the Rivermen in Game 6, and they stay alive. So we've got 2 Game 7s here in the Fire Conference. Meanwhile, Somerville is going to move on.
That's all I wanted. I just wanted to get to Game 7.
And we have Dave Burke going against Brian Bray in Game 7 here. And then on the other end, we have Jim Ning against Dave Wallace. See how it plays out. Kind of like that they're an hour apart. Game 7 should have a little of their own airtime. Chris Ruska, singles, driving in Bellinger, and that is 1-0. Can you hover over Chris Ruska? Like, how good is this guy? Is he like an 80-80? Yeah, he's wicked good. Okay. Dude has been a monster.
Yeah,
I think he has more RBIs in this postseason than he does in the regular season.
I was going to say,
Chris,
he's been killing it this series. Like, even if I win this game somehow miraculously, he's still going to be the MVP. He should be.
Loudermilk with a double, driving in 2. So that's a 3-0 lead in the first as we go to the bottom half. Louisville jumps out early. Double play eliminates the base runner for the Sasquatches. So 3-0 as we go to the second. Ryan Downing, leadoff single in the second. Two on, 1 out now, and a Bellinger double drives in 2 more. 5-0. Rivermen up early on the Sasquatches. Man on third now with 1 down still, and there's a pitching change. Nelson's coming into the game, so very short game for Brian Bray. Did not perform. Ruska singles, driving in another. It's going to make it 6-0. Still threatening, too. So 3 in the first, 3 in the second, and the Rivermen are well on their way to the Divisional Championship Series without a big comeback by the Sasquatches.
This is when my offense goes stale. But
2 on, nobody out for Spokane, trying to get some back here. And they do. Big 3-run homer by Josh McGaw. Cuts the lead in half, 6-3. Still a ways to go. That certainly gives some hope back to the Sasquatch fans out there, which, as we all know, there aren't many. Squatches get another one. Zach Eccles drives in Galindo, continuing to do damage here in the second. And there's a pitching change by Louisville. So both starters get rocked. And it's into the bullpens. It's going to be a war of attrition here through the rest of the game. Meanwhile, Oklahoma City trying to stop the bleeding, and they get a quick 1-0 lead on an Esquivel sac fly. Of course, they had a 3-0 lead in Game 6. And that disappeared. So let's see if they can hold that up here. Meanwhile, Jim Harris leadoff hit, and then steal second base. As we know, the Mobsters are the fastest team in the TBL and have been for several seasons. Louisville adds an insurance run on a wild pitch. Lowenthal comes across the score, and they have a man on third with nobody out, so may not be done there. And they're not. Pete Robinson drives in another, makes it 8-4. Meanwhile, the Mobsters tied back up in the bottom half of the inning. Alejandro Martinez grounds into a double play, but it's enough to tie the game. Joe Smith singles. And Lincoln Woody doubles, back-to-back hits. And the Outlaws take a 3-1 lead in Game 7. And on third, just one out.
He's limping off the field as well.
Ooh, yep. Lincoln Woody suffers an injury there. Louisville can't be stopped offensively. Jeff Bellinger singles driving in Fuqua. Meanwhile, an injury to the Sasquatch's Galindo.
Oh no. Julio.
The Korean Kong with a solo home run. Gonna make it 10-4. Jeremy Akers taking a walk.
And the only fan that was at Spokane has left.
I don't want to say the stadium's packed against your favor, but everybody in the stands is doing river dances, which makes me think they're not fans of your franchise. The river dance, the official celebration of the Rivermen. Right now, Jim Ning pitching beautifully for Oklahoma City, just one run through 5 innings. Jin Ning, not Jim, my bad. If you say his name really fast, it just sounds like you're drinking. Nine outs remain for the Sasquatches, 10-4 as we go to the bottom of the 7th here. Louisville has brought out the big bats. Josh McGaw single gives a base runner. First and third now on a Mike Lynch single. Louis strikes out swinging though. 2 down. And the Rivermen are out of the jam, so 10-4 as we go to the 8th. That game is pretty well in hand at the moment. Meanwhile, 3-1 still as we go to the 8th inning in Milwaukee. Oklahoma City clinging to a 2-run lead. They've got the leadoff runner on. Meanwhile, Seung-Hoon Park, 4th hit of the game. It's a solo homer and then a 2-run homer by Jeremy Ager. My math is bad there. I'm sorry, that Park homer happened a while ago. But yeah, 12-4 now. And that game's pretty mumuch over.
It is over.
Seonghung Park coming up big in Game 7, 4 for 4 for the Korean Kong. Meanwhile, Jim Ning still pitching here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and he's pitching beautifully. Jin Ning. I said Jim again. That's okay. I'm trying to Americanize this guy's name. That's really wrong of me.
He would be very upset with you.
The media is all over me for it. Sensitivity training coming up.
You'll never be internet famous.
3 outs remaining in the Mobster season, so they came all the way back to force this Game 7, but this might be it if they can't rally here. Kind of funny, the game that started an hour later is threatening to finish first.
Well, if
One
Louisville
out.
would quit hitting the ball.
2 down, last out remaining for the Mobsters. They need a base runner. They don't get it. Pace comes in and shuts the door, gets the save. And Oklahoma City Outlaws survive and advance after a scary 3 games. They win in Game 7. Congratulations, Travis. And good season, of course, Bob. And good season to Zach as well, who was eliminated today. And good season to Kay, who was eliminated today. Runner on for the Sasquatches in the 9th.
Rally caps, boys. Oh. 1 out. That's not good.
And a double play ends the game. So the Rivermen advance and beat the Sasquatches on their home field in Game 7. Both of the road teams won the games in Game 7. So crowd wasn't a factor, enough of a factor to stop these teams from advancing here in the postseason. So again, congratulations to Chuck and good season to Chris. Unexpected season, my friend.
Yeah, very unexpected.
I'll
And
see you
congrats
back
to
in the
Chuck.
gutter next year.
Yeah, I'll see you in the gutter next year. There's no way. How did I end up here? I'm just proud.
Again, you get a young core of hitters. So
Yeah, I do.
we'll see how you move moving forward. We'll see how all these teams do as they advance here in the postseason and as they consider next season now as they go to the bench.
So we will be dropping the file shortly, and if everybody's ready tonight, we might get back at it. So.
Yep, for sure. Obviously, a short window for a lot of teams to figure things out. But yeah, 9 o'clock tonight. If everybody is available, if you need help exporting, if you're not available but you still want us to move forward, please reach out. And yeah, thanks for watching.
See ya.